Today we're getting into the flower garden and showing you guys how to arrange your own backyard bouquet. Now, I am a master at this by no means. I've been learning how to do this over the past year or two now. So I'm not a professional, but I am a tad bit experienced in arrangements. So this year I'm growing some new flowers just from previous experiences with what I have grown and what I need to actually make beautiful arrangements. So there's multiple things you want to have whenever you're making your bouquets, and three things are the most important. You need your large item, which is your main thing you're looking at. Two is you need your filler flowers, which are just tiny little things. And three, you need a form of greens or things that are just going to allow something different besides flowers. So those three things in mind, let's look at everything we have in here, see what's harvestable. So let's go through and see what we've got. So first up, we have our zinnias. There's our queen lime, which you can see that's a really pretty color. It's the lime with the pink. I think it might be the blush. This is one of our purple ones. Some canary zinnias back here. So we're probably gonna harvest a couple of these. Again, not everything is up yet, but there are a few that I want to get before they go to waste. Next, we have our amaranth. This is growing tall. This isn't at a harvestable age yet. You can use the leaves, but what we really want is those heads. But we have to get it also, we have to harvest this also before the seed heads drop, because once the seed heads drop, then we're in trouble because we're just going to have tons of amaranth everywhere. This is our Bills of Ireland, I'm pretty sure, but they haven't belled yet, so I just like to take the leaves as a form of greenery. It's really pretty. Over here we have our glads. There's a couple that are laying down. It looks like they broke off, so we might try to use some of the ones that are still salvageable. This looks like it just needs pruned off, but look at these guys. There's some bugs in here, but look at them. They are so pretty. They are definitely showing up the rest of the garden currently. This is their time of year to be coming up. See this one right here, he broke off, but he's still got a little bit of life on him. So what we'll do is we'll cut him, prune him back, but then we'll pull back these last flowers that are wilting, and we'll go and we'll put this in a vase because it is beautiful. Over here we have our forget-me-nots, our black bachelor buttons. These are absolutely gorgeous. And we have some baby's breath in here as well, so we'll try to take advantage of that. That'll be our filler. The forget-me-nots, bachelor button, and baby's breath will be our little filler, something small that we can put in. The gladiolas and even sunflowers. I like to grow sunflowers with multiple heads for this reason. These heads are smaller than some of like the mammoth sunflowers. Those are just way too big. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll harvest a couple of these flower heads and we'll put them in arrangements because they're just small enough, not too big, but just small enough that we can use it in an arrangement. But those will be our big ones, our main attraction, and then those three will be our fillers. And over here, we'll do these as our more medium and some greenery to tie it all together. So when it comes to harvesting your flowers, one thing I recommend is getting yourself a good pair of garden scissors. This is going to make the process a lot easier, and it's going to give you a clean cut whenever you are trimming back your flowers. Second thing, get yourself a cool basket. Like, you can take this is super wide, and we'll lay down our clippings inside, and it's just really convenient. So first of all, let's start with the zinnias. I like to keep my stems long because I don't know what types of vases that people are putting them in. At the shortest, I do a mason jar. Majority of the time when I'm cutting back my flowers, I go to where the next bud is going to shoot off. Here's why. I don't want to cut back further. Sometimes you have to, but it depends on what vase you're putting them in. So for this example, right here's the flower, the stem itself. This is what I want. But right here, coming off of it, is a new bud that will turn into a flower. So if I cut any further from where this is, I'm killing off this excess bud, and it's wasting a possible flower that could have occurred. So instead, usually, I'll go down to where that next occurring bud is, and I harvest it just like that. But with that comes the shortness of the stems, because sometimes you can't always do that. But I like to keep relatively a decently long stem, just because I don't know what kind of vases people are putting them in. When you're cutting your flowers, cut them at an angle. I don't know why, I guess I just heard that helps growth. Not growth, that helps vase life. I don't know. So I just cut it at an angle. So we're going to go through and we're going to cut off all of our flowers, just like so. See, it's another short one, but that's what you got to do. This one's going to be a longer one because, right here's an example, I had to cut this down further because I didn't like how, if I would have cut it here, it just would have been way too short. So I'll just go through and cut that off. And you can see some of my flowers got eaten up by the Japanese beetles. I was really disappointed in that this year, but it's alright. We got some pretty flowers from it anyway. This one is absolutely stunning. Next, we want to move on to our Bells of Ireland. Now these here are something that you can take your picking. I like the red stem, but also there's some green stem in here. And when I do this, I usually cut all the way down and I'll harvest the whole thing. But majority of the time I'll shave off, or I'll cut down to what I like. And these last pretty long in a vase. So just go and do that as you please. Cut as long as you want, as much as you want. You'll shave everything down later when it goes to put everything together. The sunflowers are a bit tall, but we're gonna try to pick the best one, and we'll put that in the arrangement too. Back to the gladiola, we're going to snip off what was broken, and we're gonna peel off the flowers that are all wilted, and then we'll cut the stem. And now that is good to go in a vase. Last on our list is our filler flowers. These flowers, the bachelor button, the forget-me-nots, and the baby's breath, also act as really good greenery. Because look at that, whenever you cut one flower, you can get multiple stems of other flowers with it. So usually, whenever I go to harvest these, I'll just cut the whole stem back, and I'll use it as greenery as well. Now we have all of our flowers in our basket, and I'm just going to go through again what we have just to remind everyone what we're working with here, and then we'll start to go through and leaf everything off and then put the arrangement together. So first of all, we talked about the three main ingredients when it comes to your arrangements. Your filler flowers, which can arrange in small, to a medium filler, which is our zinnias. So we have our zinnias acting as our medium, and we also have our bachelor button, baby's breath, and forget-me-nots acting as our tiny flowers, which will fill in nicely between all of the different combinations that we have. Like I said, these can also work well as greenery. You can see there's tons of leaves on these, so instead of doing the green like we did pick, which is our amaranth and our Bells of Ireland. Today I'm just using the Bells of Ireland, but the amaranth is going to act as a greenery. You can use eucalyptus or basil as well. All of those things will work. So this is our greenery. And for our main site, we have our gladiola and our Autumn Beauty sunflower, I think. So when it comes to arranging, I just like to have fun with it. I can't say that there's a proper way of doing it, but there are specific ways you want to set this up. First of all, go through and pull all the leaves off your flowers. Gently, because this could cause some stem harm, and you want to keep your stem as good as you can. So gently take all the leaves off, discard them, because less leaves is easier to handle. So when I'm doing this, sometimes for the zinnias, I will leave leaves on the upper part just to add some extra green. But when it comes to things lower down on the stem, I like this, for example. I'll leave this top part because it's up on top as an extra form of greenery, but this bottom part is going to be in the vase, and what this is going to do is it's just going to cause rotting, and it's going to mold, and it's going to get wet. It's going to be nasty. It's not going to fit in the vase as well as it would without that. So you can make that decision on your own if you want to keep some with leaves, if you want to keep some without the leaves, entirely up to you. But I just like it with the zinnias to keep them without, because these things are just gonna go in between, and like I said, they're fillers, and I like to place them without the leaves. Next, we're gonna move on to our greenery. Same thing with the zinnias. Pull the leaves down to your desired setting. Get rid of ones that you don't like. Keep what you want. Entirely up to you. This is like an art project when it comes to this stuff, so you make the decision. Whatever works best for your arrangement is entirely up to you. But this is how I do it, and I figured I'd come on here and show you guys this because there was a time whenever I wanted to learn how to do this, and there's not a lot of videos out there. So I just broke that, and that makes me sad. Don't do what I do, folks. Just watch and I don't know. And we already took this one down because we had to get rid of the old leaves. These gladiolas actually last pretty well in a vase. I was really impressed with that. I like to take a lot of the leaves off with the sunflowers because they get really sappy and sticky. So we don't want that. We might leave 2 leaves. That'll be it. We leave 2 leaves and a bud. Because that's just kind of, for a sunflower, it just kind of makes sense. I don't know. It's hot out, so these flowers are drooping a little bit. Gotta do this quick. And next, we have our tiny fillers. The majority of the time, I just separate these with their categories, and I leave all the leaves on these because I love the way they look with them. Again, it's my filler greenery, so I usually just leave the flowers. I usually just leave the leaves on there because I like the way they look. I have everything spaced out now. All the different flowers I'm going to be using in today's arrangement. And now, I'm going to show you guys how to put it together. So first you want to start with your main flower. So pick one of the 2. I'm going to start with the sunflower because it's easier to work around. And that's what you want to do. You want to build up the things that you're using for your arrangement and build it up around it. So first, I'm going to start with my main head, surround it with my greenery. And then from there, I'm going to snip back some of this to get it to size because I don't like working with long stems. It's just annoying. So snip that back. And so next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my other big one and put it behind it. So now I have my 2 large and my greenery. And so from there, now is where the fun begins. Now, just kind of go through and layer your mediums throughout the arrangement. I really like the pink and the yellow together mixed in with the white. This purple's really pretty right here. Put that underneath the yellow, and you can pull these up, down, however you want. Just kind of go with it and move your flowers around. In between, You can add some little fillers. I can put some, by moving this, I could put some baby's breath, and that right there kind of adds a little delicate touch to it. So I'll put all of this in here, and I'm just going to keep working this out, pulling it. Some of these flowers are a bit short, so we'll go and make a separate arrangement for those. Continuing to work with these flowers. Put one back here. Now I'm going to take my black bachelor button. I'm going to add this in as well. And we'll cut all of these back and kind of fix it up a little bit at the end. But for right now, just kind of throw all of your stuff together. See how it looks. Move it around. Put the blues in there. And then some more blue up here. And fix this. Maybe move this around here. And there you have it. So this is kind of a wild looking one because I do have a lot of these small filler flowers which make it look a little bit more green. But I really love this one. The sunflower, the different zinnias, the black bachelor button, the blue bachelor button, forget-me-nots, the gladiola right in there, all tucked in. It's really pretty. It's got some height, which is something you want as well. You want your height, you want your shortness, you want your large and your small. All of these things combined, the different objects, that's what makes a flower arrangement so beautiful, and I'm really pleased with how this one came out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this taught you something. If you have any questions about the arrangement that we made today, or any further questions about flower gardening in general, leave that in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer any questions that you have. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.